is that you will be able to get your ticket at, rather you will be able to get your tickets, only 3 tickets. A limit of 3 tickets is what you have been given. And the Confederation of African Football has announced that a series of measures has aimed at curbing inflated ticket prices and black market sales ahead of this highly anticipated CHAN 2024 quarterfinal clash between Senegal and Uganda at Nambole Stadium. That is on Saturday, 23rd, has been put in place. And during the previous match of Cranes and South Africa, a ticket that was originally at a price of 10,000 Uganda shillings was now selling at 40,000, between 40,000 Uganda shillings to 70,000 Uganda shillings, as people were hoarding and putting them on a black market. Now, CAF has urged fans to make early purchases to avoid disappointment with last-minute purchases, and you have been given an opportunity to purchase only 3 tickets. Make sure that you get your 3 tickets if you need all of them as early as possible. But good morning. Thank you so much for always working up with us. My name is Julie Natalamusisi. Robert Chiravo Nyonyintono is always here with me to do the show with you as well. Good morning, Robert.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va bien.
Merci et vous. And when it's German, Guten Morgen.
I'll get there.
Wie geht's?
I'll get there. You know, when you start something and you're defeated in your own game,
I know, right?
You just have to come
You've
to a
only
level,
died in your own movie.
and you accept that, well, film start after, but for once, and one is dead. Otherwise, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Uganda this morning.
Have you noticed that we're both putting on blue?
Definitely, great minds think together, aren't we? Well, of course, there are so many great minds out there, and it's an honor waking up every day and knowing you're tuned to UBC TV, watching us to let you know what is transpiring in this country, but also internationally. Now, yesterday, there's one story that didn't rub me very well, and this is a report by the Inspectorate of Government on assessment of the cost and extent of corruption in recruitment by district service commissions in Uganda. Now, this report was launched and signed by the Prime Minister of the Republic of Uganda, the Right Honorable Robin Anabanja, and the IGG, Honorable Betty Kamya, was present as they launched this report. But guess what are some of the outstanding, scary findings? That over 35% of public servants pay bribes to secure jobs. Over 35.
Right.
Now, for junior cadres, the report indicates many responded to have paid 3 million. For higher positions, between 30 and 40 million. The Inspectorate of Government, Betty Kamya, noted that, for example, district service engineers, someone will borrow money and pay 30 million because he knows when he gets to that position, in just one contract,
right, he'll have recovered.
He'll have recovered the money. Now, how many contracts is this person going to be signing?
Was money the only thing cited as something being paid?
Not only money, but it was the most that was highlighted.
Right. Because
most of the queries that come in, I paid this money to get this job, it was given to me, now after some time they think I should leave. Do you remember a gentleman who was leading the Uganda Bureau of Standards? When at one time he revealed how he had paid 100 million.
Right, yes.
You know, to renew his contract. Now, these are things that are happening, and a report carried out by the Inspectorate of Government, no doubt. It is something that has been thoroughly researched. Now, what does this speak to the quality? If someone has paid or bribed their way in, one, they may not have the right qualifications. That is one. Two, they usually tend to be untouchables. These are people who will not arrive at work when they're supposed to be there.
Right.
These are people who mistreat others because they know they paid for the job they have. These are people who will do shoddy work. So these are people who will steal everything, including a needle.
And if you talk about
to recover their input.
If you talk about hurting others, as it is, not only money, is it the only tool that is used to bribe people's way?
Don't feel shy to mention what usually your sex uses.
But it's a two-way thing, two-way traffic. Both genders
No, I don't know. It's not very common for a man to be asked to give in their body to get a job.
It's not very common.
Yeah, but it's so
why
common.
I say it's a two-way thing. It's because it's the men who ask for people's bodies for sexual advantages.
But also that is true. There are also women who propose that because
yes.
they know it's what they have that will get them there.
Yes, but many people have been employed by just merely having offering their bodies, and at the end of the day, this hurts. So when you say that there are people who are hurting others whilst employed, it's because hurt people hurt others. And if she got through that system, she's obviously hurt, she's obviously damaged, and she's imposing that hurt onto fellow employees. Anyways, the other story I think that made a highlight for me yesterday, still on the presidential aspirants, two gentlemen, a gentleman turned up to pick his nomination forms on stilts. You know stilts? Yes, he. One thing I think I got from that story is, as Ugandans, one, we are extremely happy people, and we have a lot of freedom that sometimes our creativity surpasses beyond normal. But yesterday, Kampala witnessed an unusual spectacle of a presidential aspirant, Abdul Katongole, who arrived at the Electoral Commission on stilts, only to be politely and firmly sent away. And he was dressed in a lime green suit alongside his assistant, who was also on stilts in a black jacket. And they were ready to pick nomination forms to represent their nation.
Well, I kindly feel, and I want to request that we need to do something, because there is a lot of unseriousness amongst Ugandans. This thing has become something for drama, I must say, and I think we need to tighten our laws so that only the serious people can turn up, because it demeans the entire process. There's so much of joking, katemba, you know, that let me also go, because definitely there's one who came in boots, then I think had chikomando. It's
and one who had colored hair,
you know, it's just something that we've turned into a game of showbiz to get public attention and also be valuable. But I think this is a wrong thing we are doing as Ugandans. We need to take things serious. And of course, we commend the NRM government. Let me use that, because the government in power, for the atmosphere it has created, that now where you'd hardly think of contesting for presidency, now anyone can wake up and try their way there. Previously, things would not have been like this. We are told by our parents that it wasn't this easy thing. So managing success is one of the biggest challenges. It is success that, yes, it's a democratic country, the process is this kind of easy, but we are failing to manage the success. That's why I love the theme for the NRM this time.
Right.
You know, protecting our gains. How do we protect the gains that Uganda has gotten over time? The democracy, the peace, that then we don't have this, for lack of a better word, I was going to say this idiotic, this nonsensical thing I'm saying.
Do you remember Moses
Some people doing? Moses Nsereko.
He was one of the contestants for Kawempe North.
Oh, the one who fainted and then...
Yes, during their debate, he carried seats, chairs.
He moved around.
Yes,
so I think we need to get more serious.
But he also picked up nomination forms.
For presidency.
For presidency. And he indeed successfully picked up his nomination forms. Anyways, those are some of the stories that are all over the place in this season and within this week. But let's have a look at what is on the local scene, Robert.
Well, we begin with the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, who reconvened talks with traders protesting what they described as unfair taxation of Uganda Revenue Authority. The meeting held in Kampala followed the release of 18 traders who had been arrested during earlier demonstrations. Prime Minister Robin Nabanja's meeting with traders opened with jubilations as traders celebrated the release of their colleagues. Prime Minister assured them of government's commitment in addressing their concerns, particularly the taxation of imported clothing based on weight, commonly known as kilo. URA Commissioner General John Musinguzi acknowledged the concerns but noted that challenges persist despite recent adjustments in the dollar valuation used for tax assessment. To resolve delays and foster dialogue, a joint committee comprising of URA officials and traders' representatives were formed. Key issues include VAT threshold and tax disparities between local and foreign traders will be forwarded to Cabinet for review. Prime Minister Nabanja urged traders to reopen their shops and resume business. President Museveni launched a report exposing deep-rooted challenges in public service recruitment across Uganda's districts. Compiled by the Economic Research Center with support from the Inspectorate of Government, the report reveals widespread corruption, inefficiency, and structural weaknesses in district service commissions. Speaking on behalf of the President, Prime Minister Robert Nabanja emphasized the government's commitment to integrity, decentralization, and service delivery. The report found that 40% of district service commissions were not fully constituted, undermining effective recruitment. The Prime Minister urged all stakeholders to use the report as a foundation for reforms aimed at restoring public trust. Key proposals include strengthening oversight, addressing political interference, and ensuring constitutional compliance, especially regarding gender representation. The Inspector General of Government, Betty Kamya, highlighted outdated paper-based systems, low commissioners' pays, and bribery. Now to politics. The National Resistance Movement is set to form a reconciliation committee for elders to bring together candidates who lost in the recent party primaries. According to the party's Director of Information, Publicity and Public Relations, Emmanuel Dombo, the move aims to prevent losing candidates from contesting as independents in the upcoming general elections. The July 14th NRM primaries left many candidates frustrated after failing to secure the party flag. Their hopes were briefly revived when the party chairperson set up an elections tribunal to handle complaints. However, most primary results were upheld. Notable cases emerged in Remiyaga constituency, Sembabule, where incumbent MP Theodore Sechikubo challenged Emmanuel Rashande's win, citing rigging, intimidation, and violent elections. On Tuesday, the tribunal upheld Rashande's victory. Dombo said a reconciliation process will follow the delegates' conference to discourage losing candidates from running as independents. Under the party law, such candidates risk suspension, but Dombo noted that the party sometimes weighs several factors before enforcing the rules. While it's unclear if reconciliation will fully prevent independent bids, NRM maintains that allowing losers to contest against official flag bearers risks splitting votes. Coming to the end of our local stories this morning, Uganda Airlines officials appeared before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises to respond to queries in the Auditor General's report for financial year ending June 30th. The general report for that year indicated so much. For that year, the airline projected a budget of $201 million, but only 143 million was approved. According to the CEO, this shortfall left critical projects grounded, including fleet expansion and services improvement. Currently, Uganda Airlines operates regional routes with Bombardier CRJ 900S, suitable for short flights. However, their limited range and capacity makes it difficult to implement a hub and spoke model for Entebbe. The airline's mind-range aircrafts are needed to bridge the gap. The committee, chaired by Busiro East Member of Parliament Medad Segona, called on the government to prioritize funding for Uganda Airlines, stressing that reliable fleet growth is critical for competing in Africa's fast-growing aviation market. The Auditor General's report also flagged financial concerns, noting that Uganda Airlines maintained fixed deposits of 8.5 billion shillings, while debts and accumulated interests remained outstanding. Airline officials assured the committee that structured payment plans for the debts are already in place. Now, with those stories, we come to the end of our local stories this morning, and Julie is ready to take us through what the rest of the world has for us.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Robert. And we are starting off with matters US and China. A U.S. Navy sailor in California has been convicted of espionage for selling the force's secrets to a Chinese agent who recruited him through social media. Jinchao Wei, who is 25 years, was convicted of 6 charges, including espionage, conspiracy to commit espionage, and unlawful export of classified data about U.S. Navy ships. The defendant's actions represent an egregious betrayal of the trust placed in him as a member of the U.S. military, U.S. Attorney Adam Gordon said in a statement after the verdict was read. By trading military secrets to the People's Republic of China for cash, he jeopardized not only the lives of his fellow sailors, but also the security of the entire nation and our allies. Wei, also known as Patrick Wei, was arrested in August 2023 on espionage charges as he arrived for work on the amphibious assault ship, the USS Essex. Now, a neutralized U.S. citizen, Wei served as a machinist's mate, held a security clearance, and had access to sensitive information about the ship and other ships in the Pacific Fleet. During his week-long trial, prosecutors presented evidence, including phone conversations, electronic messages, and audio messages that Wei had exchanged with his Chinese handler. Now, moving on, the Israeli military says that it has begun the preliminary actions of a planned ground offensive to capture and occupy all of Gaza City and already has a hold on its outskirts. A military spokesperson said troops were already operating in the Zayton and Jabalia areas to lay the groundwork for the offensive, which Defense Minister Israel Katz approved on Tuesday and which will be put to the Security Cabinet later this week. About 60,000 reservists are being called up for the beginning of September to free up active duty personnel for the operation. Hamas has accused Israel of obstructing a ceasefire deal in favor of continuing a brutal war against innocent civilians. Reuters news agency reported hundreds of thousands of Palestinians in Gaza City are expected to be ordered to evacuate and head to shelters in southern Gaza as preparations for Israel's takeover plan get underway. Many of Israel's allies have condemned its plan, with French President Emmanuel Macron warning on Wednesday that it can only lead to disaster for both peoples and risks plunging the entire region into a cycle of permanent war. Now, let us look at what we have on the continent. An interesting story from South Africa. A prominent South African member of parliament fired shots to fend off a violent attack by a gang on him and 2 of his colleagues in Cape Town. Ian Cameron, along with 2 other members of Parliament's Police Committee, Lisa Schikkerling and Nicholas Gottsell, were returning from a work trip when their vehicle was ambushed in the township of Philippi on Tuesday. The assailants smashed the car's windows with bricks, injuring Cameron and Gottsell. Cameron, whose teeth were broken, retaliated by opening fire, injuring one of the attackers. Police said 2 teenagers aged 16 and 18 have been arrested as they investigate a case of attempted murder and attempted hijacking. Crime is a major problem in South Africa, and the country has one of the highest murder rates in the world. One of the suspects was apprehended while seeking medical treatment at a hospital on Tuesday, while another was arrested on a farm early on Wednesday, police stated, adding that a search is underway for a 3rd suspect. Cameron, who chairs the police committee, told broadcaster Newsroom Africa that they were returning from an unannounced visit to a police academy in Philippi when the first brick came through the window on the driver's side and hit him in the face. Look at those young faces. Can you imagine losing your future just like that? Anyways, that wraps it up for what we have on the global scene. But there are also stories within the press. Robert, what do we have?
Wow, wow, wow. The story, when I get to it in the the press review, I'll let you know what it is. But let me begin with a new vision. Now, this we've just been discussing, that is a district still 42 billion from job seekers. New report reveals corruption in hiring civil servants. Now ask the Commissioner General.
42 billion plus bodies stolen.
Plus bodies.
Just saying.
No, bodies you accept.
Sips on tea.
Accept. Now our Van Dimwe back Museveni for 2026 elections. The obvious. Second is Uganda strikes immigration deal with USA. Education Ministry committed to transparency. And now this is the story I told you, Julie. National Unity Platform Party finally agrees to join IPOD.
Very interesting.
Now, if you match this with a story that was in yesterday's papers, in the New Vision, it was how much political parties under IPOD are going to be getting. But now let me run to the Daily Monitor here. Uganda visas for US. There's something there for you. Traders call of strike. And of course, there is over 130 that is bribes to get jobs. Still in the Daily Monitor here, prisons to construct VIP cells. Okay. Okay. That are some of the stories in a Daily Monitor. But prisons to construct VIP cells. There you go. So what has Kenya and Tanzania got for us here? Very interesting stories.
Very interesting stories indeed, but let's start off with the Citizen in Tanzania. That's assurance on BRT second phase operations. The Dar es Salaam Rapid Transit Agency has reaffirmed that operations on the second phase of the bus rapid transit system will begin on September 1st, regardless of pending logistical or infrastructural issues. Now, also in there is a story on clearing agents seek government nod for minimum pricing. And a final list of CCM parliamentary candidates out with within 72 hours. And right at the top, slow progress on major electricity project asks Biteko. And matters impact cleaning, cooking. Doctor explains how dirty energy sources affect users. Whilst we call it normal, it's affecting us on a daily. That is a seller moment for all of us who are always in the kitchen. But looking at the Daily Nation, that Tanzania, that is in Kenya, secrets of MP's bribery scandal. MPs and analysts are reading a pattern in President Ruto's latest bribery attacks on Parliament, investigations into government scandals, enactment of anti-graft laws, compensation for victims of state attacks, and a looming hostile probe by the US. Still in the Daily Nation is police free Samido from service, and why elderly teachers will reap big from 24,000 promotions by TSC. Also, Batuk 550 million shillings windfall for villagers in Laikipia after devastating wildfire. And that wraps it for what we have in the dailies. But we still are looking into the Chan tickets. And so far, looks like the website is showing sold out. Yes.
So they have not yet opened the window for buying?
No, but anyways, let's collect more information and get clarity of it. But at least someone has been trying to buy a ticket right now, and the system is just showing that sold out. But perhaps it's an error Let's keep
Oh,
trying.
they have not yet opened the portal for selling now. There's a story I told you that was in the New Vision yesterday. It was a very big headline. It had 11 billion released for political parties. Money will cater for 2026 campaigns to be shared by iPod members. That was a very big headline on the New Vision yesterday. And now the New Vision also brings a story this morning that talks about a party finally, they use the word has finally, agreed to join iPod.
Agreed is a very important keyword to
So we
take
may
note
see them as members of the iPod. Remember, when you're a member of the iPod, apart from its core purpose, you get to benefit from this money, and it depends on the number of MPs you have. So if you're the largest opposition party, you reap big than others. You're second to NRM in terms of getting some billions to go home with for party activity.
Right. Anyways, at the end of the day, party activities have to take place and money is needed. That's why they say everywhere money beats, it gonzagas. Anyways, let's have a short break with some music, Togwa Musubi, and when we get back, we shall be talking about the NRM Delegates Conference 2025, as well as the officially released portrait of President Yoweri Museveni and the slogan tagline that shall be used for the general elections 2026. Good morning, Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Morning Uganda.
Good morning. It's a Thursday. Welcome to UBC TV. This is Good Morning Uganda. My name is Julie Natabamusisi, and it's just a few days to next week when the NRM Delegates Conference will be taking place between 27th to 28th August 2025. And a little later on the show, we shall be having a conversation with the General Secretary of the NRM party, Richard Todong, to speak into definitely the official new campaign poster of President Yoweri Museveni, but also the Delegates Conference, and look forward to that. But also, Chan's March of Uganda-Senegal is underway on Saturday, and the conversation on tickets is one that is buzzing, because if you haven't got your ticket yet, you have to do it as early as possible to avoid any inconveniences that would come along the way. The opportunity that you have, though, is that you will be able to get your ticket at, rather you will be able to get your tickets, only 3 tickets. A limit of 3 tickets is what you have been given. And the Confederation of African Football has announced that a series of measures has aimed at curbing inflated ticket prices and black market sales ahead of this highly anticipated CHAN 2024 quarterfinal clash between Senegal and Uganda at Nambole Stadium. That is on Saturday, 23rd, has been put in place. And during the previous match of Cranes and South Africa, a ticket that was originally at a price of 10,000 Uganda shillings was now then selling at 40,000, between 40,000 Uganda shillings to 70,000 Uganda shillings, as people were hoarding and putting them on a black market. Now, CAF has urged fans to make early purchases to avoid disappointment with last-minute purchases, and you have been given an opportunity to purchase only 3 tickets. Make sure that you get your 3 tickets if you need all of them as early as possible. But good morning. Thank you so much for always working up with us. My name is Julie Nantala Musisi. Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono is always here with me to do the show with you as well. Good morning, Robert.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, ça va?
Ça va bien.
Merci et vous. And when it's German, Guten Morgen.
I'll get there.
Wie geht's?
I'll get there. You know, when you start something and you're defeated in your own game,
I know, right?
You just have to come
You've
to a
only
level,
died in your own movie.
and you accept that, well, film start after, but for once, one is dead. Otherwise, good morning and welcome to Good Morning Uganda this morning.
Have you noticed that we're both putting on blue?
Definitely, great minds think together, aren't we? Well, of course, there are so many great minds out there, and it's an honor waking up every day and knowing you.
Star 100 star 21 hash and select daily or use the MyNGN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information
About Mpox,
call a Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
It's a beautiful Thursday morning here at UBC TV, and we come to you live from Nile Avenue. My name is Julie Nantala Musisi. I am with Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Good morning, Uganda. And time for the real. Like we've been telling you that we are talking about the NRM Delegates Conference 2025. Now, August 27th to 28th, which will be next week, is scheduled for the NRM Delegates Conference at Kololo Independence Grounds. And we are shedding light on that with the NRM General Secretary, that is Honorable Richard Todong, over the phone to speak with us. Good morning, Honorable.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, Robert.
Yes, first and foremost, congratulations on the unveiling of the official 2026 poster and tagline, and that is protecting the gains as we make a qualitative leap into high middle income status.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is an achievement to the party because the president's call was made by the members of the party for him to come back and offer himself. So the members went ahead and even proposed the theme and the poster. So they're moving ahead of him.
Very interesting. And just to stay a little bit with the slogan and the tagline, what inspired it and why for this election of 2026?
You know, Julie, NRM has been making significant progress to Uganda. Right from 1986, when Uganda completely was a failed state, then NRM started building the necessary infrastructures and the systems that were needed for governance. Up to when we went through all those, you remember, issue of structural adjustment policies, decentralization, representation of councillors at all levels, which was something introduced by NRM. Now, those were the necessary pillars that the states and governance structures needed to stabilize governance. And over the years, when that was done, the second phase, we went through building and polishing the issue of peace and security, stability in the country. For a long time, Uganda was, all parts of Uganda was insecure. Up to when we got to around 2007-8, when the last remnants of LRA from northern Uganda were pushed to DRC Congo and to Central African Republic, that Uganda became totally peaceful. And then we move into infrastructural development. When Uganda gained total peace, we now move to infrastructural development. The president talked about roads, electricity, generation of more electricity through building dams. He talks about opening rural areas for investment, attracting investors, and all that kind of infrastructural setup. Then we moved into the areas of building capacities of households to now use these infrastructures to gain income in their homes. And all these initiatives, we had themes for all the previous campaigns. Bonapa Gagawale, protecting your future, and also and so forth. Now we are talking about protecting the gains as we make qualitative leap into high middle income status. We have stabilized the country, we have put infrastructures, we are concentrating in household income. That has brought us to the middle income level. Now we are protecting these gains and we build on the quantity. We have to make it quality for the development of the country. So we are moving so well, and we are very consistent and very passionate about our themes that we select.
Yes, Honorable, very interesting and well explained, we must say, how the journey has been. But of course, one of the challenges that NRM has is the fact known as managing success. Yes. There are so many gains, but out of these gains, we still find challenges. Like the new generation that does not, that you can't talk about Uganda being a failed state because they were never there. They have grown up in the Uganda they are seeing today, and they question the gains to protect.
That's why we are talking about, you know, when you read this theme, you'll answer all those things. We are talking about protecting the gains as we make qualitative leap. The quantity is already there. In terms of quantity, we have a number of young people who have been educated. Our population has grown. Our GDP has grown. There is peace and stability. The quantity is there. Now we are turning this quantity into quality. We know there are so many young people who have been educated due to UPE, USE. We know there are so many young people who have moved from the villages to urban areas, and in urban areas, we know there are young people who are exposed to, through media liberalization. They can read news anywhere. By the literacy rate in Uganda now is at about 78% or more. So every Ugandan can listen to news, interpret, can follow what is happening. So that is a quantitative move. Now we are turning this quantity into quality in the sense that these young people who speak good English but no money in their pockets, how can we turn them to become money makers? These young people who are energetic and informed, educated and healthy, how can we turn them to be productive? How do we channel them into production? How do we make them useful to the economy so that they are not consumers but producers in the economy? That is what we are talking about. And to young people, being young is not just, it's not a permanent situation. Being young is a process. Today you are young, tomorrow you are an old person. So before you become old, you have to prepare for that time when you become old. And that is how you use your youthful time that makes you live a healthy adult life. So we're helping them, guide them through this, and that's why we are very happy with this theme. It speaks about turning quantity into quality.
Right. Now, this is one last one as we speak into the portrait and the official tagline before we move over to the delegates conference. Usually the taglines obviously inform what we have in the manifesto. Has it already been released?
No, we are polishing the manifesto. The manifesto is also focusing at this. We are looking at how we can improve our economy to make sure that the ordinary person is productive, the ordinary person is benefiting from the economy. These social programs that the president keeps talking about is enhanced and improved, that it reaches all over. We are focusing at the urban poor, we are focusing at the rural community. We are making sure all Ugandans are productive. The market is big. This huge market needs production, which of course should be based on quality. And that is what we are focusing on, to make sure everybody is productive and useful in the economy.
Right. Now, we are having a conversation on the NRM Delegates Conference 2025. We first started off, of course, with the gist of the excitement that the official portrait for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was released as the NRM flag bearer for the 2026 general elections. And speaking into the tagline, a bit of information and meat that was added, of course, over the phone is Honorable Richard Tudong, who is the NRM General Secretary, and he is having this conversation with us. Now, if you want to be a part of the conversation, 0709-602-592. Now, Honorable, let's get into the gist of the matter as regards to the delegates conference. How many delegates are expected to attend, and who exactly are these delegates?
You know, before I answer that, I just want people to know that for NRM, for you to understand NRM better, you need to slow down in a busy for nothing political environment. Then you'll understand and appreciate NRM. If your mind and eyes are covered with excitement, with emotion, you will not understand NRM. This conference is a statement that other political parties will have to know that NRM is still starting to be around. We are not yet around. We are just starting. We have not even lived for a quarter of our time that we want to live. So we are beginning our journey into proper stabilization of Uganda towards a qualitative leap as we move to middle income status. Therefore, the other years were just years of correcting errors of previous government. Now, it is now time for NRM to settle down, to start doing the things that it was faced with. Now, who comes to the conference? Even before you know who comes to the conference, we have had elections from the villages, parishes, sub-counties, town councils, municipalities, districts, up to the district level. In total, we have elected 2.1 something million leaders through the structures of the party. Ask yourself which political party in Uganda or in Africa can present such a structure. Which political party can sponsor campaigns in all elective positions up to the village level and the national level? That is why most of these parties are pretending to be parties, but they're not serious parties. You find them campaigning in 3-4 constituencies and they shout that they are, yes, they are a political party by law, but on the ground they are still learning how a political party should move. And so our mass nature, we are a mass party which focuses at the ordinary poor and the ordinary rural person. The last mile of social need is where we focus. So who gets to come to Kampala, if I may come to that question? Our constitution is very clear. The National Conference, of course, has the following members which should attend. Number one is the National Chairman, the first National Vice Chairman, the second National Vice Chairman, and then the regional Vice Chairpersons of the party, and then members of the National Executive Committee of the party, members of the National Municipal Executive Committees, members of the NRM on Municipal Council, promoters of the NRM organization, executive committees of the NRM branches in the diaspora, members of NRM in Parliament, NRM members of East African Legislative Assembly, members of NRM Historical Leaders Forum, members of National Executive Committees of all special organs, NRM chairpersons of districts, NRM parliamentary flag bearers, NRM flag bearers, district chairpersons, municipal mayors, members of NRM district executive committees, members of the district executive committees of all special organs, NRM members of the district council, chairpersons of sub-county conferences. Now, all this put together from all the districts of Uganda, we are expecting close to 42 to 43,000 delegates in Kampala. And because of the number, we cannot have the conference at once. We are breaking this conference into two. We are starting with the special interest group conference, and then the main conference will be after. And that is how we manage always these conferences. You cannot host 40,000 people in one venue at once. Now, that is the weight and the magnitude of NRM. How many conferences have other parties held? What is the number of their delegates? Others, even you slaughter a chicken and it's enough for the delegates conference. But for NRM, we are a mass party, and Kampala will feel us. When we come, Kampala will know that there is something called NRM.
Indeed, I can feel the joy of the Secretary General of the mass party, NRM. Now, Honorable, what exactly transpires in the delegates conference?
This conference is an elective conference. We are proceeding with election of our leaders. In the conference, we shall confirm our national chairman. We shall confirm our presidential flag bearer for 2026 general election. We shall elect members of the Central Executive Committee of the party, members of SEC. We shall elect national leaders of the leagues, the Women's League, the Youth League, the PWD leagues, the Elderly leagues, all those leagues, we shall be electing their national leaders. And then we shall be electing our flag bearers for members of parliament, for persons with disabilities, for youth, and for elderly persons. So it's an elective conference.
Now, that being an elective conference, there is one particular area of interest, that is the Central Executive Committee. We are seeing pressures mounting, seeing campaigns happening, and somehow also kind of verbal artillery. Honorable, what exactly should these SEC campaigns be like?
Of course, campaigns by nature brings in all such. When you're struggling for one thing, when you're in your minute, you use all sorts of unnecessary innuendos to decampaign the others. But we have guided them, we have spoken to them, we have met them. SEC has started vetting them. Yesterday, SEC met. And the most interesting thing is, even when they're contesting for SEC, the Constitution still gives power to SEC to vet them, including members of SEC who are also contesting. So yesterday, when we are talking and vetting them, they now know the weight of the organ of the institution they are moving into. And so the vetting is very rigorous. We make sure we understand your knowledge about the party, your discipline, your history. Before you assume position in the party, who are you? What have you contributed in the party before? How significant were you in the branch where you belong to? How much contribution have you made to the party? So we look through all that, and then we make sure that of all things, you are a disciplined cadre.
Right.
Discipline in the sense that you follow what the party requires of you. And so this is going to help us control those kind of unnecessary exchanges among party candidates.
Right. Thank you very much for that. And just for the sake of clarity, it seems rather obvious, but it's better coming from you as well. Why was the venue changed from the usual venue, that is Nambole, to Kololo Ceremonial Grounds?
We changed because you know what is happening. There is the African Cup of Nations which is taking place at Nambole, and we do not want to interfere with that. It was a commitment from government that we should participate in the African Cup of Nations, and so the next alternative was Kololo Ceremonial Ground, which has even given us a better opportunity because Kololo, by its nature, is a very big open ground which we can use for the number of people we expect in Kampala.
Right. Now, some of the conversations you're having, as you've stated at the delegates conference, is to curb issues like some of the party members who feel disgruntled, especially from the primaries and the elections that have been taking place. Honorable Sechikubo came out and stated that he is done with the NRM. What do you make of that?
That is emotion speaking. That is not Sechikubo speaking. We believe once he's cool and calm, he will get back to his senses. If that is what he said, anyway, I've not heard it. I'm hearing from people that that is what Honorable Sechikubo is saying.
Right.
So we believe that at the right time he will calm down and definitely come back to his party and his senses. We know elections are hectic. That's why there is a tribunal which was listening, hearing all those cases. And definitely one would expect that the tribunal would make a ruling. If the tribunal's ruling does not favor you, you don't run away from the party because of the tribunal's ruling. The tribunal was an independent tribunal. I have never even been to their offices. I don't know where their offices are, because they were to check through what the NRM Electoral Commission did, the results they declared. There was another organ which was given mandate to verify what really was declared. And so if they upheld a result of a constituency which was declared by the Electoral Commission, that means they're in agreement with the initial declaration. And so Honorable Sechikubo, if he's disgruntled, he should feel free that he should calm down. The party is not going anywhere. 5 years are not many. He will still offer himself to contest in the next 5 years.
Definitely. Now, Honorable Todong, let's look at an issue that has been raised by a number of aspirants for the SEC positions. Conflict of interest. You just hinted on it when you said some of the people vetting are still aspirants. So how do we then ensure there is integrity and there is no influencing?
We are still discussing that, but of course the Constitution gives powers to SEC to vet. So at any point in time there would be SEC anyway. Now what happens is when they are vetting a particular position and that member is in SEC, at that moment the member becomes a candidate. He moves out of the meeting. And he or she is invited in the meeting as a candidate, like any other person. So that is how fair we have been. Even the national chairman, the president, when we are discussing his position, he asks the vice chairman to chair, he moves out of the meeting. Then the members freely discusses his position. The same with the vice chairperson, Alhaji Moses Chigongo. When we are discussing his position, he moves out of the meeting, the members discuss freely, and they make their comments. So there is nothing wrong with having SEC vetting members of SEC.
How is the voting going to be conducted of these members?
All elections in the party by constitution through lining up. Kololo, who shall line up in Kololo? If your line is short or long, the members will see. That is the beauty of NRM. We practice open democracy. We don't, this secret balloting is just, those are things for people who hide the truth. For us, we are frank and truthful. You win, you win. You lose, you lose. Full stop. No shortcut.
But how is it going to be honorable? For example, let's take Vice Chairperson Western. There are about 11 aspirants, if I'm right. Now, are we going to have the 11 lines, or are we still going to see there's something in one delegate?
Kololo is big enough. We can even line 20 candidates at once.
Okay.
And the beauty is that everybody is a voter for those positions. All the delegates from all over the country vote for those positions.
Now, Honorable, there is some issue that some aspirants have been talking to or interacting with, express fear that much as they came to stand and ensure they are vetted, if they're successful, they wait for that day to be voted through, that some are influencing whereby the party chairman may come up and just declare that so and so is suitable for this position.
No, it's not the party chairman. The party chairman has, I need to thank the chairman of the party. He's a very, very polished gentleman, and he has been very fair to everybody. And he has allowed the institution to work. He says, let the party handles this. Whatever the party says is what we go by. Not him. He has also removed himself from it. It's the matter of the party. So the party is in meetings, discussions are going on, the party will decide. It is not the chairman. So they should leave the chairman out of it.
How do you best explain a scenario? I remember there was a delegates conference that was in Nambole, and by then I think we had a Haji Abudu Naduli, General Moses Ali, and another, and I've forgotten. But much as those contesting with them were sure they are going to go for lining up, Then there came a series of meetings, and later you would hear so and so has been told to step down for the other. So some of the contestants actually were never given an opportunity to line up. Is that by consensus or?
No, discussions among candidates always. It is about, it depends on how a candidate can convince the other to step down for him or her. But that discussion does not involve, yes, of course, the party can get involved in a matter where the party can find solutions to the conflict. Where there is contradiction and the party can provide solutions, the party gets involved as a party. But also the candidates themselves are interacting with each other to compare notes, to ask others to step down. We allow that kind of conversations to continue.
Right, and now there is an accreditation of leaders before they proceed to the conference. What does this mean?
Okay, now allow me now run you through the program. The Central Executive Committee started yesterday. It continues today and ends tomorrow, the 22nd. As we are ending tomorrow, there will be accreditation for members that will be coming for the National Executive Council meeting, NEC. Our NEC members are about 1,000. Tomorrow there will be accreditation for NEC members, and the meeting for NEC will take place on the 24th of August. Then on the the meetings of NEC will take place on the 23rd. Then on the 24th, there will be accreditation for Special Interest Group Conference. And then the Special Interest Group Conference will take place on the 25th at Kololo. Then on the 26th, we shall do accreditation for main conference. The main conference will take place on the 27th and 28th. It will end on 28th because we shall, in the main conference, we shall be electing our national leaders. This is the national chairman, confirming the national chairman and the presidential flag bearer. We shall be electing the regional vice chairpersons and confirming other SEC members. But the special interest group conference will be electing members of the special interest group executives and also their national chairpersons. So the special interest group conference is faster because of those elections. So those dates are very important. Now, we are doing accreditation based on the specific meetings each delegate is going to attend. And that is how organized we are. This accreditation is taking place at Nakawa at the ICT Center next to MOOPS. The delegates will come. That is their first point of entry. They will be given their conference materials and name tags, and then the following day they will be moving to the meeting venues.
All right. Now, Ondaro Vincent from Tororo wishes the NRM all the best and a peaceful forthcoming delegates conference. And
Thank you so much.
Yes, please. And I think with that, we shall ask for your parting shots. But before we do that, another comment comes in, and it reads that, thank you so much, Secretary General Tudwong. As a party official, you need to iron out some of the indisciplined cases in the NRM party, because some party members do not believe to be outcompeted by fellow members in the party to the extent that they wanted to be independent in the same constituencies against the fellow members. This is not good for the mighty party like NRM. I submit for God and my country. That is another comment that comes through from a viewer. Anything you would want to say that and use it as an opportunity for a closing shot?
Thank you so much. Yes, we know we have issues of indiscipline. The party is concerned about indiscipline. And for the purpose of reconciliation and harmonization, the party is considering sending eminent members of the party to the districts to meet the leaders and the party members who have contested against each other to see how we can reconcile them before the nomination for the main elections. But also, the party is getting seriously concerned about indiscipline, and definitely the party is going to move to crack down in discipline and make sure that those who are indisciplined are punished as per the Constitution. Our Constitution is very clear. Schedule 4 speaks about codes of conduct, the do's and don'ts of party members, prohibited conducts, and also the punishment that are attached to certain level of misconduct. So the party meetings have started. I'm sure some of these issues will be discussed in the many meetings of the party, and resolutions shall be reached. But thank you so much Thank you, Ugandans. Thank you, members of the NRM. We look forward to seeing those who have been invited to come. For those who may not be able to come to Kampala, keep watching the screens. Watch UBC. We shall be live on UBC, and we shall be communicating to you right from your sitting room, and you'll be enjoying what is taking place at the center. NRM is the only party I know, and NRM is the only party that is yet to lead Uganda for many more years to come. So if you are still a member of any other organization that is confusing you, just drop them and come to a better home where quality and quantity exist. Thank you.
Right, Richard Twodong, the Secretary General of the NRM party, has been speaking with us in regards to the delegates conference that is taking place next week, 27th to 28th August. And indeed, as he has stated, it will be airing here on UBC TV for you to follow up on all of those events. For now, GMU Tourism Express is up next, and GMU does continue. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda? Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business, it is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information
About Mpox,
call a Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
In a nation hungry for truth,
a world where every story matters. There exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archive stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by
Uniquely ours. Explore Uganda.
Where we were was just inside the shrine, and it was dedicated to all the Uganda martyrs. Not all of them were killed from here, but it is a dedication to all the Uganda martyrs, and it is the exact spot also where Kaloli Rwanga was killed, just where we were standing. There's no such remain, but there was a bone that they got to show us, which you can get to find. Now, when you come outside, we have the demonstration of everything that is inside, just behind us, and that is what we are going to dive into right now, again with Ben. He's going to still tell us about the demonstration, why we have it here, and the surroundings around it.
Still again, my name is Ben Tenywa, in charge of the tourists and pilgrims at the Uganda Martyrs Catholic Shrine in Mugongo. Now, where we are here is a demonstration of what we saw inside the shrine. This is a demonstration showing how the leader, Charles Rwanga, was killed. Charles Rwanga, or Kaloli Rwanga, was the leader of all the Uganda martyrs. So, he was tied, he was wrapped in mat reeds, firewood. You see, somebody is lighting the fire, another one is adding on more firewood. The fire came from feet to head while still alive. And he told them, "You are burning me, but it is as if you are pouring water over my body. You have not tied me well. Leave me and I tie myself so that you can burn me." God told the king, "He has killed me for nothing. Let him repent. If he does not repent, I'll be the accuser before God." Mother Mary is a patron of this place. That's why they have put a holy image of Mother Mary. And those people were kneeling, we are praying for Charles Rwanga, Kaloli Rwanga, who was in the fire burning, that he may go to heaven. So this is what took place.
And sorry to cut you short. So the people that were kneeling, were they also Uganda martyrs?
They were also Uganda martyrs, but the church believes they're already in heaven. They were killed first, praying for this man who was still in the fire burning. Now here, there is some bit of history. You see? King Mutesa I. Mutesa I was the one who invited the missionaries. He was the one who wrote the letter inviting the missionaries to come to Uganda. He wrote it to Queen Victoria. Queen Victoria. That letter was taken in England by Leonard Benfield and was published in a newspaper called the Daily Telegraph of England on the 14th of April, 1875. So missionaries started coming, first Anglicans in 1877. Again, the Catholics came on 17th of February, 1879. Father Simeon Ludel and Brother Amanes. Here they are landing at Chigungu, Chigungu near Entebbe Airport. When they landed on the soil of Uganda, they knelt down, they prayed, asking God to bless their missionary work. They dedicated this country to Mary, Mother of Jesus. They went to the palace, where they got the king, Mutesa I, who gave them a house, where they were staying. They went to the palace here, in Lubaga. Yeah. At Lubaga, they were given at the palace. They were given permission to teach Christianity. They were given land at Nabulagala. Nabulagala. You see? Now, after this, Mutesa died. When Mutesa died, his son Mwanga succeeded him. Now it was King Mwanga who killed the Uganda martyrs. Why? He accused them of being disobedient because on Sunday they were not working. They were going for prayers. Now the king thought they are becoming disobedient. So he accused them of being disobedient. Number two, he accused them of being rebels. The way they were praying, let your kingdom come. The king thought, which kingdom is that? I'm the king here. How can they say their king is in heaven? He regarded them as rebels. And prison was punishable by death. Arabs were here. Arabs were dealing in slave trade. When the missionaries came, they were telling the king slave trade is evil. Now the business got interrupted. For that matter, Arabs started influencing the king to kill. Christianity also preached against witchcraft. People stopped going to the witch doctors to get solution for their problem. The witch doctor lost market. They also telling the king to kill. Arabs were telling the king to kill. Witch doctors were telling the king to kill. Prime Minister Mukasa was telling the king to kill. Now the king told the Uganda martyrs, if you don't leave Christianity, I'm going to kill you. They said, you kill us, we are not going to leave. Now they were arrested from Kampala, Munyonyo. They came on killing. At Munyonyo they killed 3. Then Sebugwao, Posiano, Ngondwe, and Ukagwa. They just cut off their hands, legs, and scattered the pieces. Or the Kampala, they killed Matia Mulumba. Or Wino Market, they killed Balikudembe and the Bazekere. When they were about to here, they killed Gonzaga. The rest were brought here at Namugongo and burnt like this. You see? They were burnt like this. See? They were wrapped in mattresses. See, these are heads. These are heads. These are heads. They were wrapped in mattresses, firewood, and the fire was lit from feet to head, where they were still alive. Some people were cut. Some people were speared. So it was on the 3rd of June, 1886, 137 years ago. Now, whenever this day comes, 1 million people come. We don't pray in the church. We pray on the lake. We go there to see.
Okay. We started from the shrine itself in the inside, getting to see the remain that was the bone of Kaloli Ranga, who was killed at the exact spot where we were. There were paintings, of course, and pictures of the Pope who came to cleanse the place after it had been put in place while construction was still taking place. But there were also pictures of each Uganda martyrs. Remember, the shrine was a dedication to all of them, all the Uganda martyrs. And shortly after that, we got to the place outside that just depicts all that is inside. You also got to see it has pictures on the side that shows the kings who wrote the letter, how Mutesa wrote the letter to Queen Victoria, and of course the process to Mapera until Kabaka Mwanga, who killed these matters. But we are not stopping yet. We are also heading to the lake and get to know what's there for us. Remember, we are still talking about religious tourism, and this one is dedicated to the Catholics. We are still in the Lent period, and this is the 3rd week. I'll be waiting you to join me as we continue to exhaust religious tourism with the Catholics. We'll be starting exactly at the lake and getting to see what's also there regarding the Uganda matters.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning. Thank you so much for being on the show. Welcome back from JMU Tourism Express, one that is always brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board. Time for JMU Business today. My name is Julie Nantaba Mosisi, and we are starting off with Matters Carpenters in Chireka, who have decried a collapsed market for their products. Now, they say that cheap imported furniture has flooded the market, making it difficult to sell locally made items. Recently, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni donated equipment to these carpenters to uplift their livelihoods. Led by their chairperson, Mawanda Charles, the carpenters are now asking government to raise taxes on imported furniture to protect and promote locally made products. They credit the president's support through tools which they say has boosted their production capacity. But without a reliable market, their businesses are struggling. Mawanda adds that the number of carpenters has grown significantly, yet workshop space continues to shrink. He also reminded government of the president's earlier pledge to buy them land under the parish development model. However, Kasozi Yasin, head of Gatao Association, raised concerns over individuals posing as state house officials who are allegedly extorting money from carpenters by promising government support. Chireka carpenters are now urgently calling on the president to intervene and safeguard their market from foreign competition. Now, moving on, the government of Uganda is set to host the third biannual International Vision Zero conference slated for 27th to 29th August 2025 at Peak Resort Munyonyo, aiming at zeroing the occupational hazard issues at the workplace. While speaking to the media at the Uganda Media Center, State Minister for Gender, Labour and Social Development, Esther Anyakun, confirmed to the public that this contributes to the global agenda of safety and health for a more sustainable world, while aligning with Africa's Vision 2063 and Uganda's Vision 2040. Now, moving on to the National Unity Platform that has strongly condemned security agencies for dispersing traders who were protesting against what they called unfair Uganda Revenue Authority taxes and the eviction of business operators from Nachivubo Channel. The traders who accused city tycoon Hamis Chigundu of forcefully developing the channel without following due processes sought refuge at the NUP headquarters after losing merchandise during the eviction. The National Unity Platform spokesperson and leader of the opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi, has expressed concern over the manner in which the Nachivubo Channel project is being handled. Senyonyi stressed that while NUP is not opposed to development, the party condemns the way the project is being executed. He emphasized respect for traders' rights, transparency and accountability, and assured traders of NUP's solidarity in the fight for justice. The Shadow Minister for Kampala, Engineer Ronald Balimwezo, also faulted the process, saying that Kampala City Council Authority Physical Planning Committee was sidelined, while other regulatory bodies like NEMA were not effectively involved. Both leaders maintained that although NUP supports development, the party rejects what they termed as forceful evictions carried out without accountability and clear procedures. Meanwhile, several traders voiced disappointment over their eviction, saying that they were not given prior notice and were left counting heavy losses. They also appealed to government to reinstate the Sunday market, which they said would be used to provide livelihood for many without formal working spaces. Well, that's it for what we have in GMU Business today, but we also have forex rates to look at as of yesterday, the 20th August 2025, and at the start of the day, the dollar was opening at 3,560.32 and selling at 3,570.32, and by midday it had increased to 3,563.55 and selling at 3,573.55, closed in at 3,564 an increase there 0.36 and selling at 3,574.36. The British pound was buying at 4,810.05 and selling at 4,823.55. And the euro was opened at 4,143.11 and sold at 4,154.73. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 27.57 and selling at 27.65, and the Tanzanian shilling dropped to 1.35 and selling at the same, and the South African rand was buying at 201.15 and selling at 201.71. Well, that's it for what we have in GMU Business today. Up next is the agenda, and we are talking matters environment, air pollution with the National Environment Management Authority. So stick around for that conversation. 0709602592 is the WhatsApp number for you to be a part of the conversation. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information
about Mpox,
call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to your report on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda
with support from UNICEF, WHO,
and its partners.
Taxation is a bit complicated, and the only way to demystify it and make it as easy to understand and to comply with is through engagement. Is there a limit to the number of cars a returning citizen is bringing into Uganda. Who has paid the excise duty on this water is not the supermarket which has sold you this bottle at 1,000. It's not the business. It is the man who is going to drink this water. We strongly believe that it will only be through such constructive engagement that we'll be able to broaden our tax base and build our country together.
Buza Commissioner. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
In a nation hungry for truth, a world where every story matters, there exists a beacon of trust and reliability. For decades, they've been our voice and our window to the world, holding the mirror of our history. With 4 TV stations and 11 radio channels spanning 27 languages, they stand as guardians of information, defenders of truth. With Mascari Heritage Advantage, they uphold every citizen's right to reliable and free information. Their archived stories shaped our past and illuminate our present. Yet now, as new challenges arise and the world evolves, their mission faces its greatest test yet. Be part of our journey and let's navigate the unknown, uncover the untold, and safeguard our future together. Tune into your public broadcaster, for it is the intersection of trust and truth. Because to UBC, your story, and every voice matters. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This August, East Africa becomes the center of African football. CHAN 2024 is here, and it's bigger than ever. 3 proud nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, united by football, passion, and power. From the first whistle to the final roar, 35 thrilling matches, live, only on UBC TV and radio stations. Wherever you are in Uganda, from the city to the village, UBC brings CHAN 2024 to your screen and your radio. August 2nd to August 30th, it's football like never before. 1 tournament, 1 region, 1 heartbeats. CHAN 2024, live on UBC. Feel the game, live the glory.
Across Uganda, the parish development model is paving the way for prosperity, helping families transform their lives through strategic farming practices, like the 4-acre model.
In our Chibaro of 1996, we said first acre, put coffee. Second acre, fruits. The third acre, you put pasture for dairy cows. The 4th acre, for food, cassava. The good thing is that now cassava is also becoming a very good cash product, but at least for food. Then, mind you, the backyard. You put poultry for eggs, you put piggery.
I'm in a 1-acre plot of land. In this 1 acre, Your Excellency, I practice this banana plantation. I also practice coffee. I also have dairy, Your Excellency. Every month, Your Excellency, I get 500,000 from these bunches.
The 7 activities we recommended, they have a big global demand.
We have 10,000 Nile tilapia fish and 10,000 African catfish. And when we sell our 10,000 tilapia, we get in one harvest 20 million shillings.
Fruits, especially capsule, which is cold, can do very high value crops like apples, And then finally, those who are near the wetlands, like the ones in Bukit who are wasting the wetlands, they should do fish farming, not in the center of the swamp, but at the edge of the swamp.
From coffee farms to fish ponds, the 4-acre model is empowering Ugandans to transform their lives. The parish development model is your pathway to wealth creation. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance.
Njagala okwebaza olw'enteekateeka eno gavumenti gye yatondawo ey'okulaba nga omuntu wa wansi, omuntu omuwejjero wa ghetto afiibwako. Nti nga ghettos eriyo embeera eyaliwo nga si nnungi. Okugezesa ddala mu nteekateeka eno nga tennajja, abaana bangi baakwasibwanga, naye bukya enteekateeka eno ejja, bintu bingi bituukiddwako, naddala mu nteekateeka z'ebyokwerinda, security, wamu n'enkulaakulana nga tuyita mu nkola gye bayita eya ghetto structure. Ghetto structure kwe kulonda obukulembeze okuviira ddala ku ghetto esookebwako ku kyalo, ne tubeera ne ba coordinators ku muluka paka eno gye tuli. Omwaka guno yatuwa ssente obukadde 10 wano emikono twabufuna, era mu nfuna ya ssente zino twagala okwebaza oweekitiibwa President. Ssente zino ziyambye nnyo abantu ba ghetto. Abantu ba ghetto nakubadde gavumenti ebadde n'emiwaatwa mingi gyeyisaamu ssente zaayo okutuuka ku bantu zibayambye, naye ssente ezo zibadde tezituuka ku bantu ba ghetto. Ssente zino bannaghetto tuzibawadde era bazifunyeemu. Ebiseera ebisinga wali emabega abantu ba ghetto abamu baali bennyamivu nga bamanyi nti gavumenti yabavaako, era ng'osanga abantu abamu mu ghetto nga tebalinaamu nsonga. Oli akugamba ekimbeeza mu ghetto noonyeza emirimu Uganda wonna gibuze. Twagala okusiima pulezidenti w'eggwanga kubanga ssente ze yatuwa twazifuna, era gwe guno omulundi ogwasookera ddala nga bannaghetto mu Uganda, era twagala okumwebaza okutwagalira ddala n'atuwa ne ku ssente ezikola. Ffenaffe twagala kumusuubiza nti abalaba gye bamulabira nti akadde ate kati olw'okuba yakatutandikako tulaba nga yakavubuka, era twagala n'okumulaga amaanyi 26 oba ki ebyatuswaza edda mu mukono twagala okubimalawo ku 2026, tugatteko amaanyi tumwebaze olw'omutima ogwagala abantu ba bulijjo naddala ffe bannaghetto.
City market lies in 4 acres of land with a population of about 4,000 registered market vendors who are doing business in this facility. We really appreciate the initiative of the government to come up with this project that is benefiting not only the business community within the market, but the entire community within the Acholi sub-region. When you look at the market previously, the market used to be not like this one. With the market vendors, they used to sell under papyrus reeds. And we used also to ferry our goods, come and sell, then you take it in the stores or elsewhere. But now, due to this infrastructural development, the vendors now, they are able now to sell, cover your goods, leave it there, and you come and get it the next day when it is safe. The safety of our goods and the convenience of doing business has improved greatly. That makes the local community very, very, very happy when they are doing business in the market now. I want to appeal to my fellow vendors and the community of the entire Acholi sub-region that we need to embrace and support the government so that they continue also bringing us more development in our region.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group HGO brand has officially launched the Rider Selection Campaign. Registration is now open. Visit www.riders.hgo.com. Complete your registration now for a chance to win exciting prizes including motorcycles, exclusive HGO gift boxes, and official rider vests, all while promoting safe riding awareness. This is how to participate. Pay the registration fee, invite 3 friends friends to form a team of 4, and your registration fee will instantly be refunded. Begin your journey of honor today. Don't miss this opportunity. Join the challenge, promote road safety, and become a pioneer rider. For details, visit the official Good Products website at www.hgo.com or call toll-free 0800-335-555 or visit our offices at Kingdom Kampala 3rd floor to register now and win prizes worth millions.
The circle started 5 years back with 15 members who were part of the executive, and we managed to use the same 15 members to mobilize the youth and come in to make the 16 associations. So each member took a thought of gathering, mobilizing the 15 people to make associations. So the circle was established. We happened to have 229 members that qualified for 30 millions, which we got in 2021. We used the 30 millions from the presidential initiative to buy the 6 motorcycles, which was a small number to benefit the 229 members, but we managed to use it. The 6 border helped us to go under saving culture. We managed to group our members into 15-15 for saving culture. So the saving culture is 15 groups. They could get 12,000 per day, which 12,000 at the end of the month manages to buy 1 motorcycle. That 1 motorcycle is shared among the 15, so they vote who to take it. The 15 kept on until the 15 months. Every member had to get 1 motorcycle with saving culture. As I say, we managed to get 84 motorcycles from today's report. On daily, a rider, you move Kawempe, Nakawaru, Makinde, you Kampala Metropolitan, and at the end of the day, you have 50,000. That one, we call it average day. There is a time you make 100, that is, we call it the golden day. So most of our members came without anything to use or to support their family. So we helped them by giving them the border as one of the job opportunity the circle is offering to the community.
Tuso kwebaza President Museveni olw'enkola eno gyatutereddewo otukulaakulanya nga najja wano mu ssaka eno nga sirina ppiki era ndi omu ku bammemba abaasooka okufuna ppiki. Kati abavubuka abali bateesobola kugula ppiki wano kiba kyangu. Kuba ogula buguzi migabo $5,000 ng'ofuna ppiki ng'otandika obulamu. Ate ku layisi tuli bangi. Kuba omuntu tolina miliyoni 5 zigula mpya 5 kituufu. Oba oguze emigabo ate nga gijjo n'otandikira okwo. Tolaba nti oba ofunyemu. Abantu abali batalina mirimu baagifuna. Kuba guno mulimu nno gwennyini tugufunyemu singa simaanyi ga mulimu guno. Kitegeeza nandibadde sikola ki? Sina ngeri ki gye nyiza bikwasaganya. Abaana basoma era muki okulya byonna okuba kwesanyusaamu era kiki era ngutwalanga ensonga enkulu kubanga ofunamu. Gubinkolera go ge mazima, gubinkolera ddala bulungi mukadde tajjula maama gwe nninawo yekka oba oli awo akasimu ate kino ekiri mugira nga n'oteekayo n'omusingi ate kino egamba tosobola kubulwamu ki ssente.
Ebyenfuna byange byali bibi ddala, naye mu bbanga ery'emyezi 9 wenfunidde ppiki obulamu bwakyukira ddala kubanga siganye na kati nkyapangisa naye luli eri nga nze ng'omuntu nasalawo n'ekifaananyi kya President Museveni kitambuze mu Kampala yonna mwenkolera okubalaga nti President Museveni antuusizza ku kino kuba nenkolera ssente zange era nzifuna era nzirabako.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Time for the agenda. My name is Julie Nantamamosisi, and in today's agenda, we are looking at the state of air quality in Uganda with the National Environment Management Authority represented by the Executive Director, that is Dr. Barirega Akankwasa, who is in studio with us. To be a part of the show, 0709-602-592. Good morning, Doctor.
Very good morning, Julie.
It's
good
good to
morning,
have you
our
back.
dear viewers and listeners. Yes, it's always a pleasure being here.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, just to give a bit of a background, for you who does a bit of exercise here in Kampala, running around the city, you must have taken note of the fact that there are some areas where it's hard for you to breathe, not because you're exerting hard on your body, but because the air quality is extremely contaminated. Now, IQ Air showed that on 2nd August, Kampala recorded the highest second worst quality of air compared to other major cities in the world. It had an air quality index of 162, right below Kinshasa, which was at 181. Now, in some parts of Kampala, there are those that are heavier with air compared to others. Areas like Nalia, Kololo, Jireka, that side, the northern side of the city, is known to have clean air, while areas like Kawempe, in fact, Kawempe was recorded to have the most polluted air. Now, statistics coming on from hospital visits record that about 52% of pneumonia cases are recorded as hospital visits. That is half the scale. And asthma comes second with 42%, accounting for hospital visits. And in simple terms, the quality of the air that we breathe, especially if you stay in Kawempe, is compared to smoking cigarettes. And if you stay in Kawempe, your air quality is compared to smoking 20 cigarettes a day. Now, as that information settles in, let's dive deep into the conversation with Dr. Akankwasa. Let's start off with just the understanding of what air quality is. What is air quality?
So, thank you, Julie, for that question. Just to calm down our citizens.
Right.
Our air quality is not one of the worst in the world, actually. I should say it is not the best. We are moderate. At the national level, we are overall rated moderate at 13 micrograms per cubic meter. And Kampala today, as you can see, is green. You can actually follow air quality online for Uganda. You just go to Airco app on Google Play or App Store, and you follow your air quality in real time. But let me come back to your question. Air quality really is a measure of how clean the air you breathe is. And to determine the cleanness, we look at what makes the air unclean. So what makes the air unclean is mainly particulate matter or fine particles, which can be 2.5 millimeters or 10 millimeters, what we call the PM values, and then nitrogen oxide, and also sulfur oxide, and then ozone, and then organic compounds. So those parameters are used to collectively measure how good or bad the air you breathe is. The most commonly used parameter is particulate matter 2.5 millimeters, what we call PM 2.5. That's the most commonly used indicator. because those fine particles can affect your lungs. It is the biggest cause of problems, and that's why it is the commonly used denominator to estimate how good the air is. And like I said, overall as a country nationally, we stand at 13 as of last year. The average annual air quality was 13 micrograms per cubic meter of particulate matter, 2.5 millimeters. The World Health Organization has guidelines for air quality, and it has 4 interim targets. The guideline is the ultimate desired air quality, which is 5 micrograms per cubic meter. If we get 1 cubic meter of air, how much particulate matter shall we find there? So 2.5 millimeter maximum should be 5. If it is 5, you are 100% safe. Now, no country in the world has attained 5.
Which one is closest to 5?
There is the ultimate target, which is 5, and then there is interim target 1, which is 10. Interim target 2 is 15. Interim target 3 is 20. And interim target 4, which is the cap, is 35. So any country above 35, that one is outside the WHO safe limits, 35 micrograms per cubic meter of 2.5 millimeter particulate matter. Where is Uganda? We are at 13. You see? So we are almost entering interim target 1, which is the last interim target as we go into the ultimate. So we are doing very, very well by regional and international standards. That is not to say that our air quality is where we want it. We are average, moderate. And for some areas like Kampala, you've just talked about it, Kawempe, Chisenyi, normally central business district, the air quality may be even much more bad than the national picture because of obvious reasons. Traffic, quality of roads, open burning of waste, construction, all those contribute to air quality. Industries, the energy we use to cook, all this determine air quality. In fact, the factors determining our air quality in Kampala, the biggest proportion is traffic, vehicle emissions. Those borders you see actually release as much emissions as the bus, just a border for a low quality engine design, what we call the one-stroke engine. That one can emit as more emissions as a bus. So we must address the issue of public transport. If we address the issue of public transport, we shall significantly improve our air quality. Then the energy we use for cooking. Because nationally, actually, biomass burning, that is cooking, open burning of waste, contribute 30% to our air quality, followed by transport, vehicle emissions, and then the quality of roads. If the road is paved, you have better air quality. If the road is maram or dusty, you have more particulate matter in the air. Same applies to construction. If you have construction sites, you have poor air quality around you. If you have kilns for bricklaying, you have poor quality around you. If you have open burning of waste, you have air quality problems. If you have industries that do not manage their emissions, they can also be a contributor. Yeah, but the biggest contribution of air pollution in Uganda is the energy we use to cook, is the vehicular emissions or transport sector. Address biomass burning. Burning in agriculture, there are people who still burn bushes for agriculture. That's a big contributor. And then the dusty roads, construction sites, which are not well managed, and then open burning of waste in our homes. You find everyone in a homestead, they manage waste by burning it. That's a big, big contributor. In fact, at national level, that's number one. Biomass burning is number one, followed by transport, followed by industry and agriculture emissions, for example, burning of bushes. But the biggest problem is really my mom, my grandy, the three stone cooking is the biggest problem, followed by open burning of waste at household level, and then transport sector, especially in urban areas. In rural areas, transport sector may not contribute so much, but in urban areas, transport sector is a very, very big contributor. Like in Kampala, transport sector or vehicle, what we call vehicular emissions, is number one.
Right, and staying in the areas of urban dwelling spaces, when we talk about, the report said that areas like Nadia, Kololo, Chireka, the northern side of the city has cleaner air, and yet indeed this is quite a an environment that has people who drive a lot of cars, so there's more cars. And when we look at Kawempe, which has the most populated air quality, sorry, most polluted air quality, it also has cars, but it's the most polluted. What do you think now informs this kind of record?
First of all, air pollution is instantaneous. It changes over time. The air quality now will be different from the air quality after 1 hour from here. So it is continuously changing as a result of weather, what is the temperature like, how is the wind moving, what is the amount of vehicle traffic, what is the environment around the place. You may have more vehicles, as an example, but you have more green environment around you, which green environment, like trees, like flowers, they can attract and remove the pollutants. Right. So especially green environment, trees. If you go to Kororo, you will find the air quality is better than central business downtown. Not necessarily because Kororo has no cars, but it has more trees. But it may also have cars which are serviced, because the quality of cars also determines the pollution. If you have an engine that is old, you have more emissions. If you have an engine that is not well serviced, you have more emissions. So if you have very many vehicles which are not flowing very well, you have concentration of emissions. So Kawempe may be bad today, and tomorrow it may be Machinde or another suburb. So it's not continuous. It is continuously changing.
Interesting. 0709602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be a part of the conversation as we discuss the state of the air quality in Uganda with Dr. Barirega Akankwasa, who is the Executive Director of the National Environment Management Authority. That being said, Doctor, what does the law say? If I think about cars and, you've talked about servicing, when you look at some areas, vehicles, just public means alone, are in the most
In
sorry
a state of despair.
Yes, it's like you're planning your own death by boarding that taxi, but
Yeah.
you have no choice.
Yes.
You can just see from the gas it emits as it's moving. And of course, there are areas like you've mentioned, because these are groups of people that have the ability to service their cars, and
Yeah.
so it's less. What exactly does the law say? Does it favor the status quo of areas in which people reside?
So we have, for the first time in the history of our country, we now have national air quality standards, which were launched late last year, 2024. And these standards prescribe how much particulate matter values you should not exceed for a given sector, what type of engine quality you need in your car to be on our roads. Now, the standards have just come on board late last year, so we are now popularizing the standards, preparing the sectors, preparing the industries, working with transport and the works sector to prepare the industry before we enforce the law. Because if you enforce the standards now before preparing the country, you can crash the economy. I can tell you, if we took a random measure now of measuring the engine quality of our vehicles on the road, I'm not sure how many will pass. So you don't want to come and disrupt the transport industry all of a sudden, because you will achieve what we call unintended consequences. You are trying to improve air quality, but you make it worse. You create more disaster, or you create more negative impact than the good you are bringing. So we've given ourselves 2 years of preparation of our sectors. The industries, they are being guided to install air quality monitors so that you can regulate your own self by monitoring, is my chimney okay? Is my air control units? Because we have technology now for industries. We have electrostatic, air control units. We have wet scrubbing units which control and clean the air before the industry releases it. So these technologies are there. So we are now requiring industries to install air quality monitors so that the air quality monitors will send real-time data to NEMA in our central database, but it will also give the industry owner opportunity to monitor themselves and see how they are faring, because if there is air pollution, the first person it will affect is the industry worker, is the business owner, the director of that company, because he is in the immediate neighborhood. So it will affect their productivity, it will affect their profitability. Then the industry for transport, which is a very, very big one, we are working with the Ministry of Works and Transport to introduce annual engine inspection and monitoring services. You remember, government had come with a program of assessing vehicles every year to see whether you are roadworthy. Now, one of the parameters which will be assessed will be the air emissions your engine releases. So, once we address this and we ban, for example, single-stroke engines from our roads, and we introduce efficient engine types like Euro 4 standard, as we call them, these ones burn fuel efficiently, so you have less emissions. Euro 4 engine standards. That's why you saw government reducing the number of years, the age of a vehicle, for example, from 15 years. If you are 15 years older as a vehicle, you can't enter Uganda. Now, some countries have even moved from 15 to 8 within our region here. So even us, we shall get there. But we want to target the engine type as opposed to the age. Of course, age comes with technology. The newer, the lesser the age, the better the technology. So transport, we are preparing them. Within 2 years, we shall start assessing emissions of vehicles, emissions of motorcycles. We are already assessing emissions of industries because these are very easy to assess. We are also working with the Ministry of Energy to popularize cooking tariff. I don't know how many people know about cooking tariff. Ministry of Energy has introduced a cooking tariff. If you are cooking on electricity, you pay lesser fees per unit value of electricity consumed. Air and electricity people will come and talk about this, but government has introduced a cooking tariff to try and provide affordable cooking energy alternatives from charcoal, because charcoal is no longer there even. Every sack of charcoal now, to get it is very, very difficult. Why? There is a ban on charcoal burning, as you know, northern Uganda, eastern Uganda. But also the trees are fast disappearing from our private forests. We shall not allow you to go in a national park or forest reserve to cut trees for charcoal. If you must use charcoal, you have to do charcoal farming. You plant your own trees, then burn them and make charcoal. So charcoal will be more expensive going forward, and so electricity and LPG will peak. So what government is doing is to give incentives so that LPG is affordable, so that electricity for cooking is affordable and comparable to general use.
Right.
That way, we shift our population from the 3-stone cooking, which is very, very dangerous, to LPG, to biogas, to electricity. But even before we shift there to those modern, cooking alternatives, you can still do improved stoves. These release lesser emissions, and their burning or efficiency is a bit higher than the open 3-stone cooking. So energy-saving stoves and use of improved charcoal like briquettes, which you can actually make from your organic waste, can provide a better alternative to the normal 3-stone cooking with firewood, because that's less efficient.
Right.
It is not efficient. Yeah.
Right. Now, whilst we wait for the national air quality standards, whilst we wait for the annual
rollout,
the rollout of the annual engine inspection services and the cooking tariff, while we wait for all of that, what laws are existing to at least curb and maybe make sure that we're dropping from 13 to even below 13?
For now, we are not enforcing the standards like I've told you, because the standards are the law. We have air quality standards and regulations. The National Environment Act also has standards. So we are only enforcing in industries for now. We haven't come to your kitchen to say, you must not have 3 stones. No, no, no. We are at what we call awareness raising and behavior change discourse.
Right.
That's why we are having this conversation. But for industries, they already have measures, they already have these standards in their NEMA certificates, and if we find you are releasing more emissions than you are supposed to release, there are consequences under National Environment Act. You can be fined or even prosecuted. So the laws are in place. National Environment Act, and then Air Quality Standards and Regulations for Uganda 2024. It is fresh from the cooking.
0709602592. It's a WhatsApp number. You can engage and be a part of the conversation. We are looking at the state of air quality in Uganda. Now, you've said some of these here and there within the introduction and the conversation we've had thus far, Doctor. But just for clarity and outlining, what factors contribute to the quality of air? I know there's the negative and the positive, so yes.
Let's start from the negative, things which we must avoid to improve our air. Like I said, biomass and waste burning is the biggest factor. It contributes 30% of air pollution in Uganda. Vehicular emissions contribute 25%.
Right.
The border, the bus, the taxi. Industrial activities, I'm talking about factories, I'm talking about kilns, I'm talking about quarries, stone quarries, because they release dust. I'm talking about industrial fumes. Those contribute 15%. Agricultural practices, open burning of agricultural land, and then things like brick making in the landscape. These contribute 10%. Unpaved roads, 15%. And then other factors, 5%. So these are the main factors. But the biggest problems really is biomass and waste burning, open burning of waste in our homes. But even in cities, I still see people burning their waste here in Kampala, which is very, very dangerous and even against the law. It's a criminal offense to burn your waste in the open. It's an offense under National Environment Act, and you can be charged, prosecuted, fined, or even imprisoned. But I still see people doing it. Those fumes you are ingesting or inhaling yourself, you're actually killing yourself before you kill the neighbor.
Right.
The one burning is the first victim before even the neighbor complains. So, if we can address the issue of biomass burning by improving sources of energy for cooking especially, and then composting our manure instead of burning it, you compost the organic waste, create organic fertilizer, take it to your banana plantation or coffee plantation, and you benefit. Instead of burning, you pollute yourself, pollute your neighbor, enhance climate change, and yet you're also losing value.
Right.
So, if it is plastic, if it is plastic waste, remove it, sell it for recycling, because like plastic bottles now, we have what we call extended producer responsibility for all manufacturers. They have responsibility to come and buy back those plastic bottles to recycle them. So don't burn that plastic because you are burning value. Give it to recyclers, they make better products from it. Then the organic waste, compost it, let it rot properly, use it as fertilizer instead of importing organic, imported fertilizer, which is not healthy for our soils and our food chain, because these are chemicals. But organic manure is cheap, is within your reach, and is even better in terms of organic farming, in terms of the quality of food you are going to eat. You can also make briquettes, like I said, from your organic waste. So instead of going to buy charcoal, you make your own charcoal. So you've saved people from air pollution, but you've also gotten value from it. It has given you energy for cooking, it has given you fertilizer for farming and enhanced productivity, and everyone wins. Government is already addressing the bigger issues. Road construction, government is making so many roads to tarmac. Bitumization of roads, especially trunk roads, is ongoing. Very many roads are getting tarmacked, as you know. Even in Kampala here, Kampala, Entebbe, what we call the Greater Kampala Metropolitan, government is upgrading all the roads under a project, and government has been doing so, first from Usmid 1, Usmid 2, and then the Greater Kampala infrastructure project, which is on now. So government is addressing transport issues of roads being upgraded to remove dust. NEMA is regulating industries to ensure they have emissions control units in place. Ministry of Energy, again, government is providing incentives for better, clean energy for cooking. Now the responsibility is you and me. Your vehicle, before we come, why can't you service it on time? Why do you have to drive a DMC on the road when you know it is a danger for you and the other people you are driving? In addition to air quality problems, it's also a danger for your life. It is prone for accidents. So as government addresses the bigger picture, the infrastructure, the energy, the industrial regulation, you as a citizen, you also have a role. One, plant that tree in your compound, it will help you. Plant that tree in the road reserve, it will capture the emissions. Protect that wetland in your area, because the wetlands will attract and remove a lot of emissions from the air. They are like filters, really, natural filters. All those particulate matter, the wetlands will capture them. All the fumes, the wetlands will capture them. So you have actually filters next to you. Plant more trees, protect the wetlands, those are natural filters. And then do the human element. Service your car on time. Don't drive a DMC. Don't cook using firewood where you can have improved energy cooking stove for those in rural areas. Improved cooking stoves are affordable. You can't say they are more expensive. Actually, getting firewood is much more problematic. Sources of firewood are fast decreasing. So if you have improved cooking stove, it is cheaper for you and it's affordable. You don't have to be rich to have an improved cooking stove.
Right. Thank you so much, Doctor. Now let me look at some of the comments coming through. Hello, UBC. Good morning, Uganda. I'm Wamalia Mohammed from Sisuni Sub-County, Manafwa District. I just want to thank NEMA for the tireless efforts to ensure that Uganda has the best air conditions for Ugandans. Indeed, no much in the upcountry, but NEMA should just continue educating industry owners on how to handle the waste air before disposing it to the environment, and also encourage the motor vehicle owners to continue working upon their cars to ensure that they do not produce heavy gases that can affect the environment. Otherwise, thank you so much for the show. And Chinji Sharif, thank you so much for being on the show as well. And a couple of you who are saying we are watching and we are on learning and unlearning. Thank you so much for being on the show. Speaking of which, let's just talk a bit about burning rubbish. Perhaps many people, especially in households, many people do not know how to handle their rubbish. Yes, there are these garbage cars that pass within homes, but there is also a system that is being tried to push on separating rubbish. Could you educate us more on how we can start from homes on separating the rubbish and how to handle all of this rubbish as we hand it over to garbage
the waste handlers?
Yes, yes.
In the environment, we say there is no waste. There is a concept which we call circular economy. Waste is actually not waste. It's a raw material for further production.
Right.
In developed economies, they no longer have waste. Because there is no waste. What is waste? Waste means something which has no value. But the rubbish has a lot of value if you separate it like you've said. If what you consider waste is sorted at source, you have at least a minimum of 3 litter bins. 3 is the minimum. Perishables or organic food refuse, what we call ebivunda in Uganda, let them be in 1 bin. Then recyclables, plastics, put them in another bin, because you are going to make money from it, that one, especially the bottles. Yeah?
Right.
And then if you have medical waste, if you have glass or metal, those can also be recycled. Metal and glass can be recycled. But if you are dealing in medical waste, that's hazardous waste. You shouldn't mix it with domestic waste. You should keep it separately and transport it separately. I see clinics making a mistake of mixing medical waste with other household waste. That's very, very dangerous because it will end up going into the environment and you get issues of antimicrobial resistance where people have antibiotics in their bodies and livestock has antibiotics in their bodies, and then antibiotics stop working, what we call antimicrobial resistance. So medical waste must be treated separately as hazardous waste and must be sealed and handed over to a certified medical waste handler who will take it to incineration. We have places of incineration. So at household level, if we leave the elites of Kampala, in Kampala and other urban areas, you have 3 different bins. Or if you can't afford the 3, at least have 2 as a minimum. Ebivunda, nebitavunda, or organic waste and non-organic waste. Non-organic waste you can put bottles, you can put metal, you can put glass. The best would have
These
been,
are the recyclables.
Those are recyclables,
yes.
Yeah. 3-liter bins would be the best, but if you can't afford 3, at least have 2. Recyclables and organic waste. Then we are now working on licensing waste transporters.
Okay.
Because what has been the problem, even households which strive to separate at source, when the collectors come to collect, they combine again in the trucks, and then you waste energy, you waste value. I struggled at household level to separate. The transporter has come and combined again. So there is lost energy and lost value. So we are licensing transporters now not to mix. Any transporter that has a license to transport will be given a license only to transport particular waste in a particular vehicle. If it's organic waste, it will be organic waste only. If it's recyclables, it will be recyclables only.
So that means this person who's coming to someone's home to collect whatever garbage,
must collect.
they are collecting what they are licensed to collect.
Yes.
Now, won't that be a cost to the end to the end user?
The end user, yes, because you see the law provides that he who generates waste is responsible for that waste. It's not government responsible for waste management as people want to think. Government regulates, but the law, National Environment Act and Waste Management Regulations are very clear. He who generates waste is responsible for that waste. So, if you have sorted your waste at household level, organic waste will bring you money because you will compost it, especially for rural areas. For urban areas, still you will hand it over to a waste transporter or handler, and then they will take it to a landfill or waste management facilities which are coming up. And then for recyclables, it's money because it's a mandatory requirement now for beverage manufacturers and plastic manufacturers. Under the National Environment Act, they must buy back products they have produced. If you are a producer of Coke or Pepsi or any brand of beverage, you are required to buy back the empties of your product and recycle them so that you reduce plastic pollution. So the recyclables is a direct source of money. The organic waste is also a direct source of money and manure for the rural areas. So for the rural households, they should have a compost where they put all organic waste. And then the recyclables should not be put in the compost. It should be collected separately, and then the transporters will come pick it and give you money because the bottles are sold. It's not free.
Right. Now, let's come back to the importance of the quality of air, the quality of air in Uganda to the health of Ugandans, but also looking into the public health. Are there campaigns that NEMA is putting up, at least ongoing campaigns to sensitize Ugandans?
Yes, yes, yes. Every year we have Air Quality Week to sensitize the public on how they can improve their air quality, how they can avoid air pollution. So we have awareness. We work with AirCo. AirCo is a Makerere University initiative for air quality. They make low-cost sensors, so you can install them and measure in real time the state of air quality. And we've rolled out in cities like Kampala, Jinja, Mbarara, Soroti, Fort Porto, and we're expanding the network so that we can monitor in real time the air quality of our country. We continue to educate the public, like this show. I want to thank you for inviting me to educate the public about air quality. So we are doing this. We also release on a monthly basis the state of air quality as NEMA. And if you are following our X handle and our website, you will see these reports there. So we routinely update the public on the state of air quality, areas to avoid, areas which are okay, and then invite people to take action, especially in areas which are heavily polluted. We, as part of government, are coming up with solutions to improve the state of air quality. You've heard about electric boda. You've heard about Kayora bus. These are zero emissions. So if public transport system can be the electric bus, which is made in Uganda, by the way, by Ugandans, 80% bubu. So why should we still be importing vehicles from Japan when we are making them in Jinja? Why can't we start with government? If government fleet became transitioned from fossil fuel powered to electric engine, my friend, you will have improvement in air quality that very day.
Right. Now, comments coming through that we would love to engage and also start the tail end of this conversation. Hi, my name is Stephen from Serere, Eastern Region. Doctor, thank you for your advice, and UBC, God bless you. But some people are unadvisable because some just consider burning waste and some cook with firewood. My question, though, is how is NEMA now going to control the burning of firewood in rural areas like Karamoja?
We have to educate the people and also work with government to provide alternatives. Education is not enough. We tell the people the dangers and then we offer them solutions. Like I talked about, improve the energy cooking, improve the cooking stoves. These are used in rural areas and they are affordable. Yeah, so it's a question of awareness and provision of alternatives.
Right. NEMA, I live by a road people use past my residence. I make an effort to clean the part of the road near my place, but in the morning I find litter having been dropped along the road in front of my residence. What can I do about this issue?
You can report the issue to the nearest local authority. Waste management is a responsibility of local governments. But if you report and the local governments are not addressing it, you can escalate it to NEMA and we take it with the responsible local government and urban authority of the area.
Right. Kindly let the guest emphasize on the issue if there are consistent garbage collection systems, since some streets remain clogged with garbage, and he says that it can be profitable once utilized.
Yes, we are working with the local governments and urban authorities, city authorities. You've seen Kampala coming up with a program of Keep Your City Clean. They are installing litter collection bins along main streets. They have garbage collection centers in markets. So yes, there are still gaps of infrastructure, gaps of capacity in terms of vehicles and cleaners,
Right.
but the cities and local governments are doing their best, and they have our full support.
Right. The same author comes through and says that this maybe is a suggestion to NEMA. We request NEMA to invest more in the clean city campaigns, not limited to buying garbage and not garbage collectors looking for where to dump their garbage.
Yeah,
That
good
is-
proposal.
Yes, indeed. And thank you for the program. What waste do we put in our landfills? This is Kamukama from Barara.
Landfills are ancient methods of waste management. Modern methods of waste management is to use waste to make better products. If it's organic waste, create fertilizer from it, create briquettes from it, but you can also create electricity from it if the quality and the quantities are there. In fact, the problem is we do not have good quality and good quantities of waste to create waste to energy conversions. So waste is not waste, it has value. Now what we should be taking in the landfill are things which we cannot get value from. After you've made the manure, you've made briquettes, you've made energy, the residual ash, the very, very least thing, is what we should be taking to the landfill. Or if we incinerate medical waste in an incinerator, the ash, the resulting ash, should be the one we are taking in the landfill. But getting all organic waste, all bottles, and take them to the landfill, that is the ancient way of managing waste, and it is not sustainable.
Right. Thank you so much, Dr. Barirega Akankwasa, for giving us your time this morning.
Pleasure,
And
always.
he is the Executive Director of the National Environment Authority. One final comment that comes in from Isaac Wanzala in West Nile, who says, though NEMA has tried to improve air quality, but at what rate has air pollution affected the community according to NEMA's statistics?
Yeah, we have global statistics and statistics for Uganda. Globally, WHO reports that the world loses 7 million people per year
Right.
to illnesses related to air quality. In Uganda, there are estimates that we could be losing up to 31,000 lives,
Right.
Especially prematures, really, prematures and lost pregnancies to air quality. So these are statistics from research. They are not government figures. We don't have figures that I can authoritatively say these are the number of deaths. No, because the death reported, it is association. It is not definite. It is association. Death arising from, lung-related or respiratory related. So it is difficult to say that this is from air pollution, but air pollution can be a causating factor or a contributing factor. But we are working with the Uganda Lung Institute to conduct research, and we shall have better figures going forward with clear scientific attribution.
Right.
Yeah, but what we can confirm is WHO reports 7 million deaths globally, and we are part of the global figure, so we are part of that 7 million.
Clearly. Thank you so much, Doctor, for your time. And thank you so much for being on the show. It brings us to the end of today's edition of Good Morning Uganda. And Robert Chirabonyonyituno will also be coming in just a few with Good Morning Uganda Extra. For now, have a blessed day.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, dondolo.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the MyMTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
My friend Baka was found to be positive for Mpox at his old age. He needs our prayers. By the way, Timo, did you know that Mpox-related deaths occur among people with underlying conditions like HIV/AIDS, diabetes, malnutrition, and other old age-related illnesses?
Of late, I've not been following Mpox issues. I thought it wasn't that serious. So, are you saying that as long as one has any underlying condition and feels unwell, just run to the hospital?
Yes! You do not have to wait. If you have any of the signs and symptoms like a body rash, a fever, headache, and body weakness, visit your nearest health facility immediately. We do not have to take any chances, my brother.
We need to immediately inform our peers in the club to be careful.
You see, with Mpox, the magic is in getting treatment early. Those who have suffered severe disease, they wasted a lot of time either treating themselves or ignoring the disease.
Save your life. Seek treatment early. Only from professional health workers whenever you feel unwell. For more information about Mpox, call the Ministry of Health toll-free line on 0800 1066 or send a free SMS to YouReport on 8500. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health Uganda with support from UNICEF, WHO, and its partners.
Drama? Colleagues, elections for special interest groups are calling. SIGs, elections. Youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time to vote for our leaders. June through August. From village to parish to district to nationals. Youth, PWDs, elderly. It's time, go vote your leaders. No! Elections are supposed to be peaceful. Easy vote, okay?
Abavubuka, abakadde, n'abantu abalina obulemu. Kino kye kiseera okulonda abakulembeze baffe. Tugende twetabe mu kulonda okuva mu mwezi gw'omukaaga okutuuka mu mwezi gw'omunaana omwaka guno. Akalulu kange ly'eddoboozi lyange. Akalulu ko ly'eddoboozi lyo. Obubaka buno bukutuusibwako akakiiko k'ebyokulonda.
Hello, Kampala, Uganda. In response to the national call of strengthening the traffic security, Good Products Group, HG